The issues of land degradation and biodiversity loss are closely linked. Land degradation remains one of the most significant drivers of biodiversity loss, including through the destruction of habitats, forced migration, and invasion of non-native species, all leading to the reduction of ecosystem services. In drylands, where desertification takes place, more than 2,300 threatened or endangered species are already known, and climate change and other pressures are expected to increase this number. When the very basis of production is lost, namely soil, these links are even more important. As such, I'm pleased to be able to contribute to the celebration of the World Day to Combat Desertification in 2012 on the theme Healthy Soil Sustain Our Life. Let's go land degradation neutral. Soil is also critical habitat for a vast array of biodiversity. For example, over 1,000 species of invertebrates may be found in a single square meter of soil in a European beech forest. A single gram of soil may contain millions of individuals and several thousand species of bacteria. These species range in size from almost invisible microbiota as bacteria, archaea, fungi, and protozoa, to the more conspicuous microfauna and megafauna such as earthworms, moles, and rats. This biodiversity is responsible for sustaining the soil ecosystems and thereby underpinning the benefits of soil to people. This includes supporting nutrient and water cycling in soils and maintaining soil structure and soil organic matter, all of which is derived from and composed of biodiversity. In fact, soil biodiversity contributes to services which are valued at $1.5 trillion per year. These functions operate in a mutually supportive way to sustain soil health and maintain or restoring such functionality is the key means to combat desertification. As explained by the great artist Leonardo da Vinci, we know more about the movement of celestial bodies than about the soil underfoot. Within the Convention on Biological Diversity, parties have taken a number of steps to maintain the health of the world's soils for the benefit of current and future generations. The Agriculture Biodiversity Program of Work, when it was adopted by the Conference of Parties at its third meeting in 1996, identifies soil biodiversity as an area requiring particular attention. Following that, the sixth meeting of the Conference of the Parties, through the Global Taxonomy Initiative, called for increasing knowledge of the organisms that maintain the soil crust. It further called for outcome-oriented deliverables to develop species inventories to specify potential indicators of below-ground biodiversity and appropriate sampling systems by 2015. At the same meeting, parties decided to establish an international initiative for the conservation and sustainable use of soil biodiversity. At its eighth meeting held in Brazil, the COP endorsed the framework for action as a basis for further implementation of this initiative. In addition to the above, the Convention on Biological Diversity, through Article 8J on traditional knowledge, innovations and practices, acknowledges and protects the role of indigenous people in the conservation and sustainable use of soil. Indeed, becoming land degradation neutral would not be possible without the active participation of indigenous peoples. In Brazil, for example, Terra Preta, a particularly productive, diverse, and resilient type of soil, has been carefully cultivated by indigenous peoples and local farmers for thousands of years. In fact, it's a result of their land use that produced this type of soil. Zero tillage by local farmers in the cerrados of central Brazil, which are the savannas, a kind of savanna, has also contributed to the restoration and protection of soil biodiversity. Achieving the objective of becoming land degradation neutral in order to conserve soil will significantly contribute to the achievement of the Aichi biodiversity targets, which include targets for achieving by 2020 sustainable production and consumption and the sustainable management of areas under agriculture. The Aichi targets also commit to the protection of biodiversity, including reducing biodiversity loss by at least half and conserving genetic diversity of cultivated plants and farmed and domesticated animals, as well as of wild relatives and ecosystem services supported by biodiversity. Finally, the targets call for the restoration of degraded land and ensure that the traditional knowledge, innovations, and practices of indigenous and local communities relevant for the conservation and sustainable use of biodiversity are respected. As such, I am pleased to join this year's celebration. Becoming land degradation neutral is an ambitious aim, but now is the time for ambition.